Commandatore.
Commandatores.
Bienveni.
Welcome to
La prima volta. Welcome to Prima Volta. This is it. This is the show where Ian Fidance, one of the great comics of all of New York City and the world,
That's right.
watches The Sopranos
Yep.
for the very first time.
Right again.
And we get to be along on the journey. Of course, I've watched the season the series many times. Although I still think after many episodes of this series, there's still people that are not quite grasping it. I ran into, I don't know if you know him, his name's Zito. He's on the Pat McAfee show, one of Pat's guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, so how far are you in Sopranos? And I was like, it's not my Prima Volta. He goes, no.
Yeah.
I go, it's Ian's Prima Volta. I've seen it before.
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen
your
all the
multi-volta.
episodes. Yeah, I've seen-
Multivolta.
But that's the joy, right?
Yeah.
The joy. And when we, we're coming off of just two whirlwind episodes between, spoiler alert, between, I would hope by now, the episodes that we've already covered, you've seen.
Yes.
But between the death of Ralphie
Oof.
and then Christopher's intervention,
Hilarious.
it's almost like after we even as much as I've seen it, the fact that those two huge sort of series altering events,
Yeah.
that's episode 9 and 10 of a 13 episode season. So
Yeah.
we now start something that I feel like when you watch the show, it's almost like you hit this season 4 peak at episode 10. And then as you start episode 11, which is what we're covering today, Calling All Cars,
Mm-hmm.
you almost go, what the hell are they doing for the rest of this season? Let alone this series, but just this season.
It is, I call it the Sopranos singularity,
Right.
where it is at such a level of brilliance that we do not have the capacity, the God-given capacity to even understand, fathom, or predict where the series will go, because it is at such a level beyond our capability of understanding,
You know why we don't have that God-given ability?
because we're not God.
Because we can't be good Catholics for 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because we're not God. And who is God? David Chase.
David Chase is God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Italian?
AJ Galante.
You see, like my Italian gear I got on today? See, usually
Incredible.
Usually it's you that come dressed for the occasion, but this
I know.
time,
Now I'm dressed like a Metagon, and you are dressed like a Paisan.
Yeah, I'm a paisan. You are what's known as a gavone at the moment.
Wow.
Just based on appearance.
Good clarification. And I want to thank you for clarifying, because instead of insulting me, you clarified, and that means that you're Paisan commendatory, and you know what they get?
What's that?
Whitman's.
Oh my, no, not me.
Whitman's.
Really?
Yeah.
For the house?
For the house.
For Sam Triali's?
For Sam Trialis.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is that a sampler?
It's a sampler, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's 22 assorted chocolates.
Wow. Ooh,
I
peanut
won't-
caramel.
Peanut caramel.
Oh.
Yep. I made sure that it had peanut
Let
caramel.
me put that right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And I
And
said,
salute.
salute.
Yeah, salute.
I said Sopranos singularity,
yeah.
but it's not a Whitman's singularity.
What?
It's a Whitman's secondarily,
Oh my God.
because there's another Whitman's.
We're living through the duality.
We're living through the duality
That's incredible.
of the palality,
This is
because we're pals.
the Whitman's multiverse of friendship.
Oh my God. You are right. This is a mafia of Whitman's.
And friendship.
And friendship, because if anyone double crosses you or tries to steal your Whitman's,
Yes.
they're going into witness protection.
Oh, I love it. Well, here, let me
Yes.
put that. Thank you very much.
And
I also love that that you are so serious that even just stealing a box of Whitman's punishable by death.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Good. Murder.
Yes.
Murder.
And-
Murder amongst friends.
Murder amongst friends, and not only punishable by death, but I'm going to go the extra step and get my CDL license so that I can get a digger and dig a grave to put
Oh.
whomever stole that's head and hands in a bowling bag.
But you're going to be licensed.
Yeah, I mean, look,
You-
I
you're
don't
not
want
just
to
gonna
break
be a guy
every
who
law.
digs a hole.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
that makes sense.
I want
It's-
to, and then if I get licensed, I can maybe join a union and
Yeah.
Also do that legally, even though they're not legally part of a union.
But in case the podcast mafia thing doesn't work, then you'll
Yeah.
be an actual licensed gravedigger.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And they go, have you ever done this before? And they was like, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno. They're like, oh, from Encanto? You're like, no, the guy Bruno, he stole a box of Whitmans.
Uh-huh.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's not even his real name. I don't want them to know the identity of the guy who it is.
No, that's
Because we make him
100%.
disappear.
We make him, he did it. You know what? He doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Don't worry about his identity.
Who
Doesn't
was it?
Does he have an identity? No.
There is an identity of someone that gave that to me at a show, and I want to thank you. And I also want to say someone also sent another Whitman's
Really?
to the cellar.
Oh, these commandantores.
Commandantores. I appreciate the Whitman's, but maybe, diversity is key. Maybe something
Whitman's is
else.
good, though.
Maybe
Especially the samplers. That is diverse.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Is the Comedy Cellar really gay? Because, of course, the Comedy Cellar is where we have our mail sent from the commandantores.
Yes.
Are they really getting inundated with boxes of Whitmans at the Comedy Cellar?
Boxes of Whitman's, people coming and saying commandantori at shows, which is great.
Can they, once they pass you at the cellar,
Yes.
can they take that away from you?
Being passed at the cellar?
Yeah.
They could.
Because I worry, and maybe
But they wouldn't.
maybe this is just my paranoia that they're like, look, we love Ian, but it's just the commandantores will not stop sending Whitman samplers to this club. Like, what did we do? What did we get ourselves into?
Yeah, but who doesn't love a Whitman's?
That's actually
If anything,
great.
they're going to love
counterpoint.
me more because I'm bringing them in the goods.
Oh, I forgot. Of
And-
course, because you know how to do this. You skin a little off the top.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
take your 7 boxes.
Yeah,
Maybe keep one for yourself on
Yeah.
the way out.
totally. And I'll say this. The cool thing at the cellar is that when you go in, they put their phones in an envelope so that nobody's like texting
Yes.
or, like videotaping or anything. And I just want to say, bring an envelope of your own. And instead of a cell phone, put in some cash to show us you're an earner.
Yeah, you know what you do? Leave your cell phone at home. And when you get there, take the envelope,
Yes.
put cash in it, and go,
yes.
this is for Ian.
Or, I am grateful for the Whitmans, but maybe instead of the Whitmans, you just give the money of what the Whitmans would cost.
Okay.
And then I
Okay.
question, am I really just begging for $2.99?
Yeah, I mean, even I feel like the Whitmans is probably more thoughtful than like $4 would be.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, but look, I appreciate it.
I appreciate
We
it.
got
And,
Whitmans
and
for
we
days.
appreciate you guys sending this stuff. Again, Comedy Cellar, care of Ian Fidance, or Comedy Cellar. No, you got to say my name because if you say Commandantori, they're going to go, who the fuck is this? And then I'm going to have to go, well, actually, it's a podcast. And, our fans are called the Commandantories. So,
No,
yeah,
that's
just
they won't get it.
Comedy Cellar,
Yeah.
care Ian Fidance. 163 McDougal, I think. I
You can
forget.
Google
Look it
it.
up.
You
Yeah,
can Google it.
Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, and we don't have to Google this week's episode, Ian, because we both watched it. I've watched it many, many times, but you got to watch it for the first time. We're talking about episode 11 of season 4
Yes.
of The Sopranos. We're talking about Calling All Cars,
Yes.
an episode bookended by Tony Soprano
A dream.
sequences.
Yes.
Yeah, and nobody in television, I believe, even comes close to the David Chase dream sequence.
No. And I have an Ian Fidance dream sequence.
Really?
Can I tell it to you?
I'd love it.
I'm snoozing. I'm wearing my wife beater. And I'm in dreamland.
Oh.
And I call all cars to run over Janice, the fat snake pig.
And that's
Because
your
she
dream?
plays heavily in this episode.
Yes.
And, there's made mention of motherless cunts, but she truly is a motherless cunt.
And we've met her mother.
Her mother's dead. She's motherless, and she's a cunt. God bless
You know what?
Ada
That's-
Totoro.
Yeah.
Amazing actress.
But Janice,
Fat Snake Pig. The FSP.
FSP of The Sopranos.
The FSP.
FSP of Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right into Janice then. Forget the dream sequences for the time being, because
Oh,
clearly
yeah,
there's
sorry.
a lot to get off your chest on this one.
Yeah.
We start with the fact that Janice
Mm-hmm.
hears from, I believe it's from Bobby's kid, that Bobby had a cake in the back of the car. And Janice wants to know why Bobby had a cake. And we find out that Bobby buried the cake at his dead wife's grave
Yeah.
because it was their anniversary.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like an Italian thing, because I remember telling my dad when he died, I was going to bring his favorite meal to his grave. And then I never did because he died when I was 8 and I couldn't drive a car or cook.
I've never heard of somebody burying food at a gravesite. Maybe it's because I don't have enough of paisan in my life, but I don't. Is that maybe it's a Delaware Italian thing?
I mean, maybe, or maybe it's a thing if you've never experienced true undying love like me and Bobby.
You were in love with Bobby Bacala?
No, me for my father, him for his wife.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I guess my father's still alive, luckily. But yeah, no. If my father were to pass away, I can't imagine burying like buttermilk, sardines.
People bury stuff
and pickles
at grave sites.
Sardines and pickles?
What? No, not that. Ew, sardines and what?
And buttermilk.
What is that?
Well, that's my dad's foods. He likes sardines and buttermilk and pickles
at the same time.
He'll literally drink buttermilk and eat sardines on like a glass of buttermilk with sardines on saltine crackers and have a pickle.
If Janice were a meal, it would be what your father enjoys to eat. Because that is disgusting.
He says there's some of the great treats. So what I'm saying is I feel like if I were to bury buttermilk and sardines at my dad's grave, it would just kind of, I feel like critters would come.
Well, then that's why you got to put it in a blender and just pour it out. Pour one out from a homie.
You know what I did put in a blender?
What?
My
Your
tiny heart? Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I will say, people at funerals put things in the coffin to bury with the body. So what is the difference between burying something in the coffin and burying something at the site?
You can kind of see it in the corner of the screen. Steven Singer told me that people have put Steven Singer gold-dipped roses into coffins. And as a matter of fact, those roses, I believe, physically, like scientifically, have been proven that the bodies will rot before those gold roses will.
Really?
Those last forever.
That's so funny because initially I would say I hate Steven Singer.
Hey, salud.
Salud.
So, yeah.
I think Bobby is mourning. I think he feels a lot of guilt. God bless him. He says if it weren't for the kids, he'd be right there with her. You know, he is definitely going through it. Everybody grieves in their own way. And Janice
it's nice that Janice is there for him.
Yeah, it's nice that she has good intentions as his friend.
Right. That when she hears, because it would take a real sociopathic psycho to hear that Bobby buried a cake at his ex-wife, at his dead wife's grave. And that you
to bring up how much the sides at Outback cost.
That you would get jealous.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting jealous?
Yeah. No, I can't. I can't imagine that.
So then...
Well, the way she insults him is just so like, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding me? With just going like, some would say courage isn't a value, you know? I'm not going to tell you to get over it and move on, you know?
Right.
I mean...
I'm not going to say that.
Good
I'm not going to be the
God.
Some would say that. Not me.
Some might say. Oasis.
It really is manipulative and scary.
It's out of control. And like when they go to the movies and he's like, did you like the movie? And she's like, did you go to the graveyard today? And then she goes, we go to the movies and you bring up your dead wife? It's like, you brought it up, bitch.
You brought it up, Janice. So then, as if it couldn't possibly get worse, they go to Tony's house, you know, have their supper and everything. AJ, boys will be boys. It's not the most sensitive thing in the world, but boys will be boys.
It's so cute how much Bobby Jr. loves AJ, and I love that Bobby Jr. hates Janice.
Hates her.
Hates her.
I feel like you and Bobby Jr. would get along.
I said already. Yeah.
You guys would get along.
And at family dinners, I do Chinese eyes.
You do?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Wait till you see what I do at Easter.
Yeah, I think you guys would get along because, number one, you like AJ, right?
I did.
What do you think about
this episode? Really turned him off.
He's a kid. He's in high school. He died like
when I was in high school. I wasn't doing that.
You were probably a dickhead in high school and just don't remember.
A huge dickhead.
Okay,
but not to little children whose parents died. Because I was that kid.
Did you know any children whose parents had died when you were in high school?
Yeah.
You were
Me.
hanging out with that's not
As a
you.
child.
No, that doesn't. You already gave yourself
I
credit.
hung out with.
This is the third time you've given yourself credit for your dad dying. I'm not gonna say move on. Some people would.
Well, can I say I did have to
Yeah.
skip my Melfi this week.
So we're working through some stuff.
We're working through some stuff, maybe.
What I'm saying is eat your dad's ziti already and get the fuck over it. So AJ, he does take advantage of the fact that the little kid looks up to him.
Yeah.
He does, take advantage of having that power
But he's such a brat, man. Like,
AJ is?
yeah, like he's and also like he's acting like a dickhead in front of the girl. Like you think that's gonna impress her? You know what I mean?
I mean, he's like, what is he? What do you think he is? 16?
Maybe, yeah.
You
Well,
don't
he can't drive, right? They had to take an Uber to the South Bronx Poverty Law Center.
I mean, that's a rich girl. They did not take an Uber.
Oh, yeah,
they took
true.
a car service.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
with the extra.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. I guess I can cut him some slack on this one because he's a kid. You do asshole things. You think that being an asshole is going to impress girls.
I guess like the death thing, it's too close to their mom, and obviously like the girl is really reeling from it, like in the bedroom, which AJ doesn't know, but like her waking up Bobby Jr. and everything. But at the same time, like, he could have played it more silly, pranking them, but he made it like
he had harmful intent.
Yeah. That was like him taking out his abusive childhood and being like an abusive person to them.
That's probably literally what it was. I mean, he wouldn't, not consciously, obviously, but it's probably literally like
totally.
He probably cannot discern the difference between fun prank and abusive prank because all he sees around him is abuse. There's no fun.
No.
There's no fun in the Soprano house.
No. And when he did the sponge on him for like the water, it's like a dirty sponge.
Right, it wasn't even thoughtful in that way.
Yeah.
Like you'd think you'd see the dirty sponge and go like, you know what, this whole thing's a bad idea.
Yeah.
This whole thing sucks.
Or maybe just like dip your fingers in water and give like a whoop whoop, like a little spritz.
And
a
then
whole sponge.
Okay, I was just kidding. Console him.
Yeah,
but,
And then he fucking blames it on him. He's like, he was the one. It's like, yeah, he's 7.
Look, I had to learn it the hard way. I remember when I was probably 10, my friend came over to the house. He saw we had Muppets Christmas Carol on VHS.
Incredible movie.
He's like, "Can I borrow that tape?" I was like, "Yeah, you can." It was in a clamshell VHS cover, right?
Uh-huh.
I took the tape out.
Oh no.
I was like, "I'll bring it in the car on the way over to your house. I'll give it to you when we get out."
Oh no.
And I handed it to him.
And it was a porno.
There was nothing in there. It was just the case. It's just the case. He opened, but he obviously was too light. He opened it up.
It kind of was a porno because somebody got fucked.
Yeah, envelope's a little light. He said he opened up the case. He opened up the case, and he realized it was empty. And I'll never forget. And this is the type of thing I think about now that I have kids. Like, I'm sure my dad doesn't remember this.
Right.
But I'll never forget. Like, he was like, "It's empty." And I'm like, "Ha, gotcha." And my dad, who was driving, looks at me and he goes, "So where's the tape?" And I go, "It's at home. I didn't bring it. Like, he's not getting the tape." And my dad goes, "That's not funny. That's not a prank. It's funny if you give him the tape now, but if you don't give it," and he's standing right there.
Oh, that's great.
And he's like, if you don't give him the tape, it's just mean.
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh." And my friend's like, "It's okay, Mr. Roberts. It's okay. It's just a joke. It was just a joke." I
love that.
And I'll never, I'll go like, "Huh." And I felt like a piece of shit, obviously.
Yeah.
But I should have, because it was like, that is
totally.
My dad was right on. That's the difference.
Well,
I mean, and also it is technically, it's just a Muppets Christmas Carol on VHS. His mom didn't die.
Right. But at the same time, like your father, handled it the way a father should. And Tony immediately went to anger, immediately embarrasses AJ in front of everyone.
Right. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And you're,
Yeah. And then Bobby, God bless, is like, there's just kids. It's
Bobby's
just a part
sweet.
of growing up.
Yeah. But then, Janice. Talk about manipulation. Janice talks to the kids on the internet, pretends to be the dead mom.
Not even, she was the dead mom?
Maybe she wasn't she?
I didn't think so. I just thought it was like an evil spirit because it said 666.
Oh, okay, maybe I read into it then.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just supposed to be a spirit. I guess it did say 666. But regardless, gets them under a burner account before there were even burners like that. Keep in mind, this is not, I guess it's probably early 2000s.
This is AOL on a disc in the mail.
Right. You could only have 5 screen names.
This is dial-up modem. Bring, 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 bring. Shut up. I'm trying to look at porn.
Did you just pick up the phone? Mom,
Yeah.
Did you just pick up the phone?
Yep. Stay off the phone. I'm online.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
So
You've got mail.
So, under a pseudonym, she convinces them.
Pseudonym or pseudonym? Pseudonym.
Pseudonym. I'm gonna go with you on this one. Pseudonym. Pseudonym.
Pseudonym.
I'll go with you on this one.
Pseudonym.
I usually go with me, so this time I'll go with you. Pseudonym. Pseudonym. Let us know in the comments.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Point is, she gets them to get the Ouija board out again.
Yeah.
And then when everything goes wrong, as of course it's going to go wrong, she goes, "See, Bobby, you need to get over it." And instead, she uses that moment and basically blames the fact that Bobby still feels grief over his dead wife.
Who died what? A month ago?
Yeah, within months. Maybe 2. 30, but less than 90 days.
Not only died.
Not even a K1
not
visa
only
ago.
died. Shout out to the next Prima Volta. 90 Day Fiance.
Shout out.
Not only did she die, he feels inherent guilt because he was caught in traffic, angry that he had to run an errand for her, and she was the one causing the traffic.
He drove right by her.
Drove right
in
by
anger.
her. Feels that guilt, shame, remorse. And Janice, the fat snake pig, the FSP, just straight up to use his kids and create a screen name and play that game of evil chess in a way I almost respect it.
Because it's so evil.
It is so out there that it like swings around to the point where it's almost striking 12 again, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's almost 360 instead of 180.
It is out of this, the Soprano singularity.
Yeah.
You can't even imagine.
Well, it's like, because most of the manipulative stuff, like even going back to the mother, like putting the hit out on Tony, there was enough plausible deniability there, enough is not said, where it's like, you knew what you were doing. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But this is one of the rare instances where it's just like, no, this is nothing but manipulative evil.
That's what I was wondering. Is it her blissfully unaware she's just so hardwired to be evil that it's just innate, like a cat going to a litter box? It just knows to do it and does it, doesn't even think about it. Or is this like a pre-planned, like, I know that this part is her pre-planning. It's obviously premeditated. But the thing about, bringing up the Outback sides and, talking about it at the movie, is that like just her reactions on autopilot of being a manipulative person?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is everything pre-planned?
I don't think everything's pre-planned. I think I think like reacting.
Like, do you think she knows it's wrong what she's doing on AOL?
No, I don't think she would say it's wrong, because I think that she thinks that her motives are that she and Bobby should be together.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think she is living in this false reality.
Right.
Where it's like doing bad for good. It's not dissimilar to Tony being able to morally separate himself from what he does in the name of the mafia.
Right.
The fact that he's able to get away with stuff because, this is what we do, this is the business, this is the family. Like
when he tells...
He doesn't feel bad about killing Matthew Bevilacqua because Matthew Bevilacqua broke the rules. I think that even though you would say, like, you deliberately shot that boy in his chest while he was yelling for his mom, like you'd murdered him. He's like, well, I think that in that instance, Janice is doing wrong because she thinks that it's for this higher purpose, which is her and Bobby being together.
Well, yeah, just like Tony murdering Ralph, he did that like weird sexual reconnaissance to like dehumanize him.
Yes.
To make him like this sick monster that is put out of his misery almost in a way, destroyed like a horse.
Yeah.
And
with a goat next to him.
Yes. Mad.
Apparently a caterpillar on his head.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. But I think also Janice, like, I don't know, man. That is, to use the kids like that, that
Bad.
is just so evil and, you know, not out of her character, but I mean,
it's because I think it is almost out of her character because it's so deliberate and we see the steps being taken and there's no other reason for it. Like getting them to take the Ouija board out.
right.
There's no other conceivable reason to do that other than
Yeah.
to get to that emotional place with Bobby where you can then blame him.
Smoking
Where
a
you
cigarette.
Can then,
He calls her, "Oh, I was cooking." Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Cooking up a scheme.
boom, there it is. Salute.
Yep. Salute.
Salute. And what does she do now that she's got him on the ropes? Now that she's got Bobby, and I know how you feel about food. You wanted to bury some Doritos with your dad.
Lasagna, dick. But thanks for listening, Melfi.
Sorry. You wanted to bury a lasagna dick next to your dad.
Fuck off.
You said
It's called punctuation, Sam.
I didn't read the comma. So
No, I mean, and again,
she goes.
well, can I just say,
Yes,
again, it goes
please.
back to food as was
Yes.
with Livia.
Yes, absolutely.
Like getting off on this idea, like food associated with pleasure
Yep.
in like a sick, sadistic, sexual way.
Yes,
You
and yeah, it's almost there's almost a cuckoldry to it.
Mm,
The fact that she and her and Bobby are
Mhm.
eating the wife's last ziti.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I didn't see that, but I think you know from experience, so you picked up on it.
I didn't realize Ian the insult comic would come to Sam Trioli's.
You know,
Did I just get financed?
you just got financed.
Wow. Let me tell you something.
Huh?
It stings.
Yeah.
It hurts.
But it is an honor. You're welcome.
Now I feel the honors. Okay, it hurts at first. And when you let the pain soak in, you start to feel the honor and the pride.
Yes.
And there it is. I feel
Yes.
good now. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
You're welcome.
I appreciate the financing.
Grazie.
So she uses Bobby.
Yeah.
Being in the emotionally weakest spot that we've seen him probably since the death actually happened.
He leaves dinner to lay down in a dark room with his eyes open.
With
How
his-
much lower
I mean,
can you get?
with his children there.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to do. I need a moment away from the children.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen.
No. But at the same time, like, what is he thinking? Like, oh, I just have a new pal. Me and Janice are new pals. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I think he knows what's going on, but it's almost like, well, we'll take it slowly and everything, and I'll see Janice is there for me, and I'll see when I'm ready. And then she, throughout all her manipulation, sees all this and goes,
Ziti.
who's hungry? Let's eat that ziti. And I know I was going, no, Bobby, don't do it, Bobby. She's not worth the ziti.
No.
She's not worth the
No.
ziti, Bobby.
No. She's not even worth a teeny ziti.
How did you feel when he took that ziti out of the freezer?
I wanted to cry with him.
You did.
It was terrible. Yeah. And
It-
her look on her face, that evil, it was almost like a cartoonish witch of like sucking a soul into the body through like a poison apple or something conjured in a cauldron, you know?
Yet you kind of do symbolically, like that's the moment probably for me, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, there's no return.
Key to, what is it? The path to a man's heart is through his stomach?
Yeah. Yeah. And now she gets the credit for his wife's last ziti.
Yeah. Oh, what
'Cause
a
it's
conquest.
Because it's associated now
Yeah.
with Janice coming in and saving the day from the mess that she made. Ugh.
Disgusting.
Horrible person.
Disgusting.
Horrible person.
Horrible. The writing to have
Superb.
that
Superb.
out of control.
So, I mean, do you see this as a long haul thing? Do you think Bobby's going to come out of a stupor and go like, what am I doing here with Janice? Like, she's manipulating all this. Do you
I don't
think
know,
Janice is
but
going to get
also-
caught?
he mentions losing his wife, she goes, I know what it's like. I lost my parents. What? That's a red flag right there.
Do you think he'll wake up from it?
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
But it seems like she's offering a nurturing that he needs, which is all just fake because it's for her own good, but like I could see the storyline going along of like them getting together, and then there's that friction between the kids and her and Bobby, and it obviously keeps her in the storyline, and she might try to get through to Bobby to do something to get her in a higher position in the pecking order, or something with Tony for her to get his money or something. Like they're eating Outback and she's bringing up the profitability shares of Outback as if it's like, what was that about? Like,
do you think she's got a better shot with Bobby than she did with Richie or Ralphie?
Yeah, I mean, Bobby's everything that she thinks she wants. This stable, like loving man. There's no chaos except for what she brings.
She brings it, yeah.
I don't think Bobby's going to ask to get fucked with a gun.
I hope not. Oh, God, I hope not.
No.
Can you imagine if he did?
I mean, I'd love to see that outtake.
You realize it's just Sharippa? You're like, what? No, it's a character. It's a character. Well, you're not the only one who didn't get to see your Melfi this week. Tony says goodbye to Melfi this week. Tony goes in, and he doesn't like the dream analysis. Of course, Tony has that dream, right?
Yeah, what was that dream? He dreamt he was in the car, old Cadillac. Carmen's driving. Ralph's in the front. He's got a caterpillar on his head. Gloria's next to him. The caterpillar turns to a butterfly. First of all, Tears of a Clown are playing on the radio, which is a perfect beginning to the episode because it picks up from his whole On the Sad Clown sob story.
Amazing.
Incredible. Amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the two people were in the car that he had a hand in their death, and the person driving the car was someone that he is slowly killing.
So you got Carm, Gloria,
and Ralph.
Doesn't one of them turn into Svetlana at one point, though?
No.
Doesn't, like, Svetlana show up, like, next to him in the car at one point in the dream?
No. It's Gloria.
No, I know Gloria's there.
What are you talking about?
But I thought Svetlana showed up.
No.
Like, he just turns, and that's Svetlana, and then he turns, and then she's gone.
Was that later in the dream when he gets to the house?
Maybe that's later in the dream.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I forget that part. But
yeah, no, I feel like it's maybe it's a collection of lives that he has and is destroying. And he feels like he's just a passenger. Like he's not taking responsibility for any of it.
Yes.
And
what does Gloria say to him?
I don't remember what the quote is.
Fuck.
She goes like this. Gabagool! And it really
Which
took me out
one
of
you
the
want to
episode.
see?
Yeah.
My pussy or my neck pussy?
Right. It took me out of the episode.
Yeah,
I think this doesn't work for me. But then he goes to Malfi, and Malfi.
Yeah, well, I think you are right that Tony is not in control, or he's giving up control.
I think, I think
no responsibility.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that he feels out of control. I think it's that he feels like none of this is his fault when it's all his fault. He's doing all of this. He's in full control of all of it. But since he won't change any of his behaviors, he doesn't want to take blame for any of it.
Well, what is the significance of the caterpillar into the butterfly? And also, interesting that his dreams and his slow guilt possibly no longer has to do with pussy. Big Pussy is not in the car.
Yeah, because he's done so much damage since Pussy.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, you could take it a whole bunch of different ways. I guess I thought that it could be that he thinks that Ralph is somehow going to get to go to heaven now, in the sense that, like, because when I first saw the caterpillar, right, I was like, maybe that's like a maggot eating, because, you know, Ralph's dead. He's in the ground.
I thought it was like a leech or something.
But then when he turns into a butterfly, I'm like, okay, who's making that evolution of character? It's not Tony. It's not Carm.
No.
It's not Gloria. It's not Ralph. Like none of those people are actually.
I thought
So I go.
possibly,
Maybe he thinks. Maybe that character thinks that Ralph is now, in the afterlife. He doesn't go to hell. He goes to heaven or something like that. And because Tony killed him, Tony is still a caterpillar. Tony doesn't get to be the butterfly.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I thought maybe possibly, like I said, Tony had a hand in Gloria and Ralph's death, and he's slowly driving Carm to death, and she has a chance to be a butterfly and fly away.
But even though the caterpillar is on Ralph's head.
Right, but if it flies on her head, she's going to get distracted and crash a car.
And we can't have that. Yeah, no, we can't have that.
No.
No.
Figured it out.
That would be, yeah.
Hit us,
I mean, I don't
commentatory it up and let us know what you think about the dream sequence.
Commenting should become commenting Tories.
Commenting Tories. We just turned a caterpillar into a butterfly.
If Joe Torre is watching this, become a commenting Tory.
Joe Girardi, do it up.
Joe Girardi,
do
Tory.
it up. Joe Girardi, Tory.
But he says that he doesn't want to go to Melfi anymore. He's done with the therapy. She's not doing him any good.
Yeah, he's pissed off. She
Right.
hasn't helped him. And he goes, my anger isn't fixed and it's causing me to make mistakes at my job. And it's like, it's funny. He just calls mistakes lashing out anger and killing a man at work.
It's also funny that because he says, I think he's also thinking about Svetlana here because Svetlana told him he was he was like too much baggage or whatever, too complicated, whatever she said.
Oh yeah, that's he sees Melfi first, and then he does the thing with Svetlana and brings that up to Melfi,
And that's when he splits.
and that's when he splits because initially he kind of says he's done, and then he splits. But after he puts up this facade of like, I broke
Yes.
another girl's heart.
Yes.
I gave her my little diamond brooch. What I always do. I'm such a bad guy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so cringe-inducing
Yeah, I think
to see him try to play it off like,
no big deal.
yeah. When
I'm still
he's
cool.
really hurt by the fact that he got rejected.
Yeah. And I think at some level he blames Melfi for getting rejected because he can't take the responsibility himself.
Yeah,
So it's like he was rejected because Melfi hasn't done her job.
right.
He, in that moment,
Right.
he just finds people to blame in any moment. Like the blame shifts constantly for everything. But in that moment, he's like, oh, well, if Melfi had helped me, then I would have had my shit together. And the woman who I'm cheating on my wife with would have been like, oh, yeah, you don't have too much baggage at all. But
Yeah.
Melfi fucked up. So now I'm going to stop seeing her because this is all her fault.
Yeah,
It's definitely not his.
no.
So that's the way I kind of took it. Do you think he's done with Melfi?
I hope not. I love Melfi.
But the
And
way
what-
this show writes off characters,
But she's too good.
so was Pussy. So was Ralph.
Yeah, but Melfi has a moral compass in the episode that Pussy and Ralph didn't have. Melfi has a nurturing mother aspect that those two didn't have. And at the same time, Melfi has an eye into the psyche of how Tony interprets things and protects himself in a way mentally and emotionally that no other character gives us a look into.
Yeah.
So Melfi has to come back for some form of like a onion peeled layer back of Tony.
Yeah, and I guess, to that extent, like previously, some of the episodes, it's almost like where movies will use narration.
Mm-hmm.
Melfi is almost the device to
Yeah.
move the characters. Not necessarily the episode story, but the
Totally.
bigger story of the
Yeah.
development of Tony.
But my question is, when she calls her psychiatrist, why does she go calling all cars? What is that?
Well, isn't that like one of those old cop shows?
Yeah, but
Calling
what does
all
that
cars.
mean? Like let everyone know, hear ye, hear ye.
I think it's like, it doesn't mean like emergency.
Is it pseudonym or pseudonym?
Commententory.
Commententories. We're throwing a lot to you guys this episode, and we want to hear back.
Now, bigger than Melfi, I think, in terms of problems for Tony.
Oh, Christ.
New York. New fucking York.
Poor Vic the appraiser.
This guy, I mean, He can't win.
Also, Johnny Sack is such an idiot. He goes, "Who's that appraiser guy?" And he goes, "I call him Vic the Appraiser." Oh, cool. Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
Good talk.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tony.
This is Furio the driver. Okay, cool.
Cool. Thank you. I guess you're a pretty creative guy for a mafia
wow,
dude.
Hey.
So Tony and he's now bickering with New York over how much of the housing and urban the HUD project that they get, which again, this was just set up several episodes ago as a side story, not realizing that it would be a catalyst for something this huge. Do you start to feel like, you know how we talked about coming off of episode 10 of this season, you're like, where is this show going?
Uh-huh.
Do you start to feel like we've got 3 episodes left in this season? Obviously, there's got to be some kind of 3-episode arc, right?
Yeah.
Unless something has popped up earlier in the season that we don't remember.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like this New York thing is the beginning of this arc that's going to take us the rest of the season, or no?
Without a doubt. I mean, here's the long and short of it. Tony killed Ralph. Everyone's like, where the fuck is Ralph? He's floating a couple ideas around. Ralph's got a drug thing. He lost it because of his kid. The Johnny Sack joke thing. New York took care of it. So I think this is a perfect time for Tony to be like, New York's the one that killed Ralph. We got to get back at New York. For him to blow it off on them. And again, Tony get away with what Tony gets away with and never facing consequences. But aside from that, I think Tony, again, like when Corrado fell and he was like, I think we just, whatever he said about getting a
like
Artie,
like Artie said,
like a hawk, 10
Like
steps
Artie said,
ahead.
yeah.
Tony's 10 steps ahead. He's like, this is great. I'm just going to blame New York. Bada bing, bada boom.
But then how's he going to avoid a war with New York? Or is he not going to avoid a war with New York?
I mean, that's a question. There's a tension with New York, but also at the same time, are you fucking out of your mind? 40% of the Esplanade? 40% for doing nothing. When Tony's doing all the fucking work.
Bullshit.
40%.
Bullshit. Come on. It's ridiculous.
But this
Carmine won't budge, though.
This show does teach me a thing about negotiating.
Which is what?
Which is like, they knew they weren't going to get 40%. And Tony knows he's not going to get 5.5%. But they just fucking go for it and don't worry. Like, if I ask for this much, they'll just flat out say no. There always is going to be a counter offer. And they probably wanted to split the difference and go somewhere near there. But you give this outlandish estimate and then you go from there, which is so smart in negotiating.
It is. I always get scared like that, though. I'm going to go go high, and they're going to say, go fuck yourself, so I better go low. And they're also going low.
And then you go high, and they go, no thanks. You go, well, it is negotiable. I'm a spineless sponge.
Yeah. No, I think we're going to pass. Okay, well, how about you just tell me?
Why don't I pay you? Well, I'll pay you for the gig. Why not? I'm a fucking moron.
Good for exposure, though, right?
Yeah,
Good for exposure.
Holy fuck. No, I've gotten so much better at bargaining and with my rates and especially I love haggling. Woo!
You like to haggle?
Love to haggle.
Like in a store or with your rates?
In a store. With my rates at the gas station.
How do you haggle at a gas
Everywhere.
station?
I go, yeah, it's $4.75. I'll give you $3.70. What do you say, huh? I don't see many other people in line here.
It's actually, every pump is full, and the machines, you're not paying, the machines say how much you're paying.
Me no speak English.
Yeah, that's good. All right, $3.70. All right, $3.70. You win.
And a pack of gum.
Yeah.
I haggle on cigarettes all the time. That's how you find them. Because secret is, you got to ask if they're from Virginia. If they're from Virginia, they can lower on the price.
Oh, because the tax rate's not the same?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have to pay New York tax rates. I love it. I love it.
A lot of Indian vendors, if you pay cash, you can haggle with them down.
Oh, it feels good, doesn't it?
Feels amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. And that's part of it. That's part of what Tony and Johnny are doing. They want, Carmine are doing.
Yeah.
They want the amazing feeling.
I love when Tony goes 5.5% and Johnny mouths it and Carmine goes Ding, ding, ding. He just hangs the phone up. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, I was raised by my grandfather, Italian, Delaware Italian. Delaware Italian, grew up in the Depression, cheap as fuck, always haggled, always stole bread from the table, always stole stuff to take home. Didn't flush the TTs, only the number 2s. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
That's the way my dad was. He took us when my wife was buying a car. My dad took us, and he was like, "You got to follow my lead." He's like, "I'm not going unless you just follow my lead."
Mm-hmm.
My wife is like, "Okay, but I really want the car." And he's like, "That's the last time you say you really want this car. Do not say that again. Just follow my lead." And literally, it was like something out of a movie. Like, it was, this is what we want to pay. Well, we can't go any lower than this. All right, well, then we're out of here. He's like, "Well, if this is as low as we can go, we're leaving." And we walked out of the dealership. And my wife is like, I need the car. Like, we got to go. And my dad is like, just wait. And we kept walking. And we literally, my wife is like, we have to go back. And my dad is like, get in the car. And we're opening the doors. And the salesman goes, wait. And we went, yes.
No way.
Yep.
Oh my God.
My dad smelled it. He knew.
Dude.
He knew. And literally it was opening the car door of my dad's car. This was years ago, obviously. Opening the car, and the salesman literally comes out of the dealership into the parking lot. Wait. And we go, gotcha.
And your dad was like, get the sardines and buttermilk because we're celebrating tonight, boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Woo-wee.
yeah. Went
Wow.
right to the store, popped open cans of sardines.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What a dream.
It was
I
perfect.
live for that.
It was perfect. Well,
That's great.
Well, I wish Vic the Appraiser had lived for that, because first he gets his ass kicked by New York, so that now he knows he works for New York.
And they break his little appraisal machine.
I know.
And it throws his Discman on the roof.
He throws his,
I wonder if that was improvised.
that he threw his Discman on the roof.
Incredible. His fucking Discman on the roof.
And this appraiser isn't making the type of money where you're just going around buying Discmans. What CD do you think was in there?
I was just going to ask, what is Vic the Appraiser appraising and jamming out to?
I mean, probably Hall & Oates.
Oh, I was thinking like Donna Summer or something.
Okay, I
Yeah.
could see, yeah. Yeah, Donna Summer. At first, I was like, maybe Collective Soul, but it's too...
Collective Soul!
No, he slows it down. Oh, it's the world I know.
What is he, a fucking shooter at Virginia Tech? No, he's an appraiser.
He's an appraiser. He's Vic the Appraiser.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
I call him.
I love it.
Now, and then Vic gets beaten up again by Jersey to go like, no, you still work
Jesus.
for us. He can't win for trying. And then this whole time, and I know you've been loving, and I've been loving talking to you about this little side story going on. Once again in this episode, Johnny Sack to Paulie. Carmine won't forget this.
Oh. The fucking definition of Goomba is Paulie. If I'm in charge, God forbid, yeah, Paulie, you're going to be in charge of the family.
Where on the ladder do you think you are, dude?
I mean, dude, he's not even OSHA certified to be on the ladder.
He really thinks something horrible is going to happen, and then Carmine's going to come in and go, well, Paulie's my guy, so let's put Paulie in charge of the Soprano crew.
Good God.
Never.
No. No, he'd start a turf war because somebody looked at his ma wrong. I mean, Paulie can't even kill a Russian in the woods.
No. Czechoslovakia.
A Czechoslovakian. An interior. You can't even kill an interior decorator.
And then we see, by the way, that this is costing him at home because Tony decides to go to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
And
with little Beansy.
Beansy's back.
My cat.
And we meet little Carmine for the first time.
He's got a weird way of talking.
Well, little Carmine is what's known as, he strikes me as a stupid man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't know, he's not good with words.
Yeah, no. He
You
got
know,
hit
by
one
the
too
way,
many
is
times in the head with the wooden spoon.
Is it pseudonym? So Tony goes down and talks to little Carmine, but Tony
We are really in a debacle right now with this.
a debacle. Just brilliant. Just the fact that they sprinkle in that comedic
Incredible.
relief is
Incredible.
so great. So, but the fact that Tony and Sil have this conversation
Mm-hmm.
and that Paulie is not invited to participate, he's not invited
No.
to even know about it because Tony knows that Paulie is not to be trusted
Yeah.
at this point. Do you think that that's going to be good, bad, indifferent for Paulie?
I feel like you can only.
That was
I mean,
Paulie.
I think that
That's
said it best.
Paulie's chances.
Paulie's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Paulie's gonna fall apart. You can only twist and turn and bend and break and be pulled in two separate ways for so long before you break and fall apart. And
Well, when you say fall apart, do you mean he's just going to kind of collapse under the pressure, or
well,
is
I mean,
it gonna...
he's not doing his job. He's not doing shit. I mean, like, he hasn't been. I mean, he hasn't done anything for the crew
No,
since forever. He couldn't even kill, the Czechoslovakian.
no, he's really.
And then after that, he gets locked up on a gun charge that, like, how does he stay in jail that long? Couldn't they get him a good lawyer to be like, nah,
Well,
he doesn't have to be in jail.
that's
Like,
probably his issue. But
get him
like,
out on bail, whatever.
Yeah, I
He's
think-
he's getting a principal beat up because his mom needs to be treated better. Like,
No, that's
what are you
true.
doing?
That's true, and he is coasting on his seniority a little bit.
He's just, I mean, he's old.
He's old.
I always think, like,
But do you think he's going to get himself killed, or do you think he's just going to put himself in a position where he's... I mean, because what... If he is going to fuck himself up, how does he get out of this? You know what I mean? Like...
well, it just kind of makes me feel for Tony in a way, because it's like, dude, his crew sucks.
Except Sil.
Well, Sil is like Teflon in a way, except when it comes to Columbus Day. Then Sil kind of loses his mind.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah,
time
that's
where
his
he had to-
kryptonite.
Yeah.
It's Italian anti-discrimination.
It did seem in this episode...
Anti-Italian discrimination.
Anti-Italian discrimination. It seemed in this episode like Sil was more back on Tony's side, where in that episode
yeah.
it seemed like Sil was a little shaky.
Right.
It seems like Sil has found a little bit more comfort in his
Mhm.
positioning and realizing that even with everything going on with Paulie, Tony does trust Sil on a different level,
Right.
which I think is good for Sil. But yeah, I do wonder, do you think that, what did you think of the meeting with Little Carmine? You know, clearly stuff's going to happen with Paulie. Do you think Little Carmine is the guy that can get this done? The HUD thing?
My thing is, like, what are they trying to do with Lil Carmine? Have him talk to Carmine
Yeah.
and be like, look, negotiate with Tony.
Yeah.
It's a smart idea because Tony went behind your back. He came to me. Like, what
Well,
is this?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know how he would phrase it, but I think it's more just he'll listen to his son
Uh-huh.
if his son says
Right.
Tony's good people's.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be difficult if, I mean, unless he goes, I talked to Tony. Tony came to see me. I don't know. I guess Tony just trusts.
I mean, it is like a sign of good faith that he went all the way down to Florida just to have dinner, I guess.
With Little Carmine.
You know,
Yeah, and it wasn't so much like to talk shit behind his back. It was like, we really want to get something done here with
Yeah,
New York. And yeah.
But it's like, why is he really going to Lil Carmine? Because Lil Carmine's in Florida. Is he part of the New York crew? Like, is he estranged from his father? Why is he? If he
Well-
was a part of the crew, wouldn't he be in New York?
Well, don't know.
Like running things?
I think that, well, I don't think he's capable of running things.
Yeah,
You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of debacle. And,
it is. He is kind of a poseur.
Yeah, poseur. I think, no, I think don't forget they have business down there. I mean, Beansy is down there.
Right.
That's where they said Ralphie had been. That's why we didn't meet Ralphie till season 3. He was in Miami. So I think, you know, I think that's where they kind of send guys like, you take care of that thing in Miami for a while.
Right.
And like
right.
he's just
Okay.
living, he's being the son.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
not going to be put in charge. He's not part of the day-to-day in New York,
Right.
but he's taking care of whatever business is down
Yeah.
there. And since it's Carmine's son, he'll listen to him.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
I don't know. Just to go back to the Paulie thing, it's like it if he goes to New York, he's a backstabber and can't be trusted. If he stays with Jersey, he's got to just accept the fact that he's like been knocked on the lower rung of the totem pole. So he's got to like step up somehow. But like his play to like think he's going to be a boss with New York and not Jersey. Like what is he?
You don't think so?
What?
You don't think?
No, just stick to repurposing paintings in your 1-bedroom apartment, Paulie.
Yeah,
right?
and also since he's been playing both sides of the fence so long that New Jersey is smartened up to it.
Mm-hmm.
If he does decide to just stick with Jersey, it's almost like not only is he not going to advance because he wasn't going to advance before,
Mm-hmm.
but they know that like this whole episode has lowered his stock tremendously. No,
Well, it's like that show Love is Blind. Have you ever seen that?
love it,
Yes.
love it.
It's like I forgot their names. Ayana and Jarrett.
Sure,
The black couple.
that sounds right.
Yeah. Well, irregardless of just that couple specifically, it's like on that show, you show your ass because you record it all the time. So you tell one person, I love you, I want to marry you, it doesn't work out. You go to the next person and go, actually, I love you, I want to marry you. And then they all find out, like, I was your second choice.
Yeah, I saw.
Then you're spending your time being like, no, well, it's actually this. It's like you just look like an asshole.
Yeah. By the way, the words regardless,
What'd I say?
irregardless.
Yeah, it's a debacle. that was intentional.
A little Carmine in there. Sprinkle a little Carmine.
It's a little Carmen.
Sprinkle a little Carmine.
Yeah.
Well, look, guys, we're going to see how this all turns out. We've got 2 episodes left in season 4.
You sure it's regardless?
That I'm 100% sure about.
And it's not irregardless.
It's definitely not irregardless.
Comment to Tori in the comments.
If you haven't already, make sure you're commenting about our vocabulary or anything else in this episode. We appreciate all the commentators.
I want to hear about what you think about the dream and the butterfly and the caterpillar.
That's a great thing.
Because
to leave
at
in
the end there
comments.
is another dream.
Yes, and then
what the fuck was that,
bro? I don't know. And then he wakes up in beautiful Miami, and it's just leave your dream synopsis in the comments below. Make sure you're
synopsis. Synopsi.
Leave a comment letting us know which it is. If synopsis, synopsis.
Synopsidatory.
Don't forget to make sure that you see Ian wherever he's performing live.
Yes.
Bring a nice thick envelope. Show him you're an earner.
Earn it.
And we'll see you next time, right here, when we look at episode 12 of season 4 of The Sopranos. Eloise.
Yes.
For me, I've seen Eloise many, many, many times.
Oh.
You all right?
I just sat on my ball.
But for Ian Finance, it'll be his. Prima.
Commendatore. Prima.
Volta. How's your ball? Ice that thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got some frozen ziti upstairs I could use?
It's my wife's last CD.